Hey, check it out. You see this motel right here? It was on fire the other day. Yeah. I got called out to that fire. And the gas meter on that fire was all melted and burnt. It's kind of interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fort Saskatchewan Correctional Center, where they keep all the inmates for 2 years less a day and under. One day we'll take a ride out over that way, and we'll go take a look at our maximum security prison, dude, where all the hardcore felons are, man. Oh, guess I shouldn't speed here, eh? Seeing as there's cops everywhere. Buenas noches, mi amigos y amigas. I don't know how to say it's Uechi. How do you say that in Spanish, people? It's this guy, the Uechi. How you guys doing? I can't hear you. The wind's rustling past my ears. You're gonna need to speak up, guys. Like, legit, you're gonna need to speak up. Oh, I hear you now. Okay, cool. So today's vlog, I like how I can talk without my hands. You see, I have this thing right here. I don't know if my camera's pointed to it, but it's just a piece of plastic, and it's got a heavy-duty rubber band that it grips and stuff. So it's kind of like a poor man's throttle lock, which is kind of cool actually. It works not super well. At higher speeds it works really well for an odd reason, but to get it tuned in perfectly at lower speeds is not the greatest. But anyways, today's vlog is brought to you by the letter P. Or do you guys see it the opposite way? Would it be this way for you guys? Whatever. By the letter P. For pissed off. Yeah. The Uechi is pissed off. Now let me tell you why. As you all know, I bought a house, or a new house in this little, I don't know if you all know that, whatever. As you know from, if you watch all my other vlogs and stuff, oh, don't hit me, birds. I bought a house in a place called Fort Saskatchewan, which is just east of, just east of Edmonton, where I was vlogging before. And this house has never been lived in, but it was built in 2010. It was used as a show suite, so it was used as a show suite before they got their new show suite. So keep that in mind when I go through all these things. Now, when I moved in, it was in the contract that my house was going to be a turnkey house. Now, if you guys don't know what a turnkey house is, that's a house that I get the key, I turn it, and it's mine. It's mine, it's all put together, nothing's wrong with it. And I mean, granted, when you're in a new house, you're going to find things that are wrong, like small things, right? But you go in, your appliances are supposed to be in, cabinet doors are attached, walls are painted, etc., right? Plumbing's done. And so I moved into this place. On the day I get my keys, I'm at the house waiting for it. It would have been the construction company. I mean, I could have gotten them from my realtor. She was an awesome lady, but it just happened to be easier to get it from the company, the building company. So that being said, I show up at my house, and I think I was supposed to get the keys at what was it? I think it was 11 o'clock a.m. I was like, it's no problem. So I drive out from Edmonton to Fort Saskatchewan, which is about 25, maybe 30 minutes away from where I was living previously. That's a nice house. By the way, guys, I've never been down this road, so I don't know what's down here. So it's probably just going to be a bunch of nothing. or 3 horses walking together. But yeah, I've never been down this road, so we're gonna discover it together. So yeah, I got the keys to my house from this guy who's doing a favor for a guy who works for the construction company. This is alarm number 1, guys, okay? If you're getting your keys to your house from some guy who doesn't work for the company, that's probably not a good thing. Now, I took it as being, it's just one of those random things that happen. So I took it all in stride. I was like, no problem. I mean, I know that I have the keys. I'm seeing the guy, and he's actually, as a matter of fact, he's actually installing the locks. So I know, like, I can see how many keys there are, so I know that he doesn't have any, etc. and stuff. So, and so I was like, okay, so he's having trouble putting the lock on the door, which to me is not rocket science. I don't know if it's rocket science for you guys, but it sure shit isn't rocket science for this guy. 45 minutes later, he puts on the doors. Like, the doors are complete and ready to be opened via key. Now, I was sitting there, I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's something small. I'm actually super happy because it's a new house, and I'm getting a house that day. So it's, I mean, waiting 45 more minutes, I'm like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. But I walk into the house, and I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, sweet, this is my new house. I'm super excited. I bought this house. I'm proud of myself. It was my life savings, etc., etc. And I look at the wall, and I go, man, something's really off about this wall. I just can't put my finger on it. And the reason why I couldn't put my finger on it was because it wasn't a small thing wrong with the wall. It was about a 5 foot long by 1 foot, 1.5 foot high patch on the wall of a different color. So the color of my walls are like a they're not a dark brown, they're like a I don't even know, like they're like a dark beige. Okay, so they had an almost white eggshell type color on the wall, covering up some nicks and dents that I had found before, like during my walkthrough. And so they had obviously repaired it, the nicks and the dents, and then some smart guy came in there and painted with the wrong color paint. I'm like, how do you not notice that? I don't know. So I found that on the wall right up at the front of my, like at the beginning of my house, like just as I walk in. Turns out later on down the road, I go upstairs and I find the same issue, but in one of the bedrooms. I have 3 bedrooms in this new house, so one of the bedrooms is fine, and then or 2 of the bedrooms are fine, I should say, and one of them had another, there's probably a foot by foot square of this same color. Like, the guy had painted it twice, you know, like he painted downstairs and he painted upstairs, and he still didn't realize that both times the paint was wrong. So I like how I'm talking with no hands. I'm feeling like all evil Knievel-y and stuff. So I was like, okay, if this is the least of my worries, if this is the most of my worries, then I'm totally cool with that. I just got a hold of the builder, and they sent a painter in that same day, and he fixed the paint. He basically painted the whole wall so that you'd never be able to see that ugly ass square. So that happened after, like, later on in the day. So keep in mind, I've walked in and I found a mess up on my wall. I'm like, all right, shit happens, right? So I'm going to I walk forward through the hallway, and I go downstairs into my basement, and I'm like, sweet, yeah, okay, awesome. They put in my dryer and my washer. Excellent. And because I worked for a gas company, the first thing I did was I double-checked the water heater and the furnace and stuff. So all that stuff, tip-top shape. Go back upstairs, and I go to my kitchen. I was like, and keep in mind, my dad's with me, right? My dad's a super calm and mellow fellow, and he doesn't swear. So keep that in mind when I say the next thing. I walk into the kitchen, I was like, what the F beep K? I'm gonna try to not swear as much, so just so you guys know. So I'm like, what the F beep K? And turns out they had not installed my my microwave, which is also the hood fan for my stove, and they had broken my fridge. So my fridge was wobbly, and I don't mean a little bit wobbly, like it was moving probably about a good 3 inches, like 3 inches of play. So I was like, oh man, what is this? Like, stuff was all supposed to be installed. And so I'm a little bit miffed, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'll get a hold of the building company, and they'll come in and they'll fix it. I guess time had run out or whatever, right? That's what I had assumed. Upon further notice, I go, wait a second. My cabinet doors aren't on my cabinet. Oh, I should clarify. 2 of my cabinet doors are not on my cabinets. The rest of the cabinet doors are all in place. So I'm going, well, what the hell's going on? Now, when I did my walkthrough, the cabinet doors were all in a pile. So, and I counted the pile, and I said, okay, there's that many doors, there's that many spaces, perfect. They're all equal. We're not going to lose any. I'm sitting there and I'm going, where are the cabinet doors? The cabinet doors are not in my house at all. So I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is going on? Okay, I'll put that on my list to call him and talk to him about. Okay, sweet. So during my walkthrough the previous week, hold on a second, guys. During my walkthrough the previous week, I had noticed that the electrical conduit going into my house from the main service from the electrical people had been broken. Now, it was broken going into my house, and it was broken going into the ground, which I know is against code because A, it's a hole in my house, and B, it's broken at the bottom so water can get into the electrical, right? And so I was like, okay, well, this needs to be fixed ASAP. And so that went on my list as well. And I think, oh, and then there was like stripping. There was like when you open up a cabinet door, like if you were to cut MDF, like medium density fiberboard, you have a fiberboard side, and then you have the laminate on the side that makes it look like it's fancy wood. It was missing all the stripping on the side to make it basically look like it was a solid piece of wood. So I noticed that was missing. I was like, okay, well, that's going to need to be added and fixed as well. So I'm going to turn around here because this is the big highway here, and if I ride on the big highway, then I'll never be able to chat with you guys. So I'll just do the old spin-a-rooney. And yeah, so I put all those on my list. Holy shit. Well, that was the first. All right, let's never do that again. Everything okay on this beast? Thank God I landed in soft shit. That's a heavy one to lift too, eh? Okay, so welcome to Uechi Cannon's first drop of his motorcycle. Anyways, everything's fine. It's just a little bit dirty. Got some scratches on the oil cover, but that's totally fine. Where was I? All right. So I have this list for this building company, and so I call them up and I'm like, all right, well, you just sent guys out to fix the paint. What about the rest of the stuff? And they're busy chatting away and like, oh yeah, well, we ran out of time, and on the weekend we'll be there on Monday to put it in. Mind you, this is Saturday that they told me this. So I say, okay, I guess that'll do. Monday was the day when I had I had the movers coming to move my stuff from Edmonton here. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that'll work. I have the movers coming, so I have to be there anyways. So yeah, that'll be fine. I'll let it slide and stuff. And Monday rolls around and I get a phone call and saying, I have no idea who the phone call's from, and they're just like, oh yeah, this is so and so from whatever, you know, we're here to fix your fridge. I was like, oh sweet. So they came and they fixed my fridge, and those were the same guys who were supposed to install my microwave. And they're like, yeah, but we don't really have time to put it in the microwave, so the other guys are going to come in and put it in. I was like, okay, sweet. So I wait the whole entire day. They didn't show up, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, what the hell's going on, man? I don't, right? And so I call up the company again, and they're like, oh yeah, so we're thinking it's gonna have to be on Thursday. So I'm like, well, what the fuck, guys? This is a brand new home. All this stuff should have been taken care of. And they're like, oh, well, we apologize, blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right. Like, I'm a mellow guy, so I'm sitting there, I was like, all right, well, I guess shit happens, you know. I'll make do without a range hood. Now, keep in mind, I'm a professional chef, and so a range hood for me is really important. It's as important as a stove, you know. So, not to mention, there's a microwave, right? So even if I had no food in my house because I just moved, there is the fact that I couldn't cook anything in a microwave because I don't have the microwave. Anyways, cut to that night. So I go down to check on my laundry, and my floor is wet. And I was like, what the hell is this? Is like, did they not hook up my washer? So I look behind my washer, it's like, no, it's hooked up. They got the hot and cold, and then the discharge tube is going into the plumbing like it's supposed to. And so I check, and it's not coming out of any of that plumbing. I'm like, what the hell? And I look over on my floor. Keep this in mind, all right? There's been nobody I know has gone to the washroom in my house that day. It was, yeah, just keep that in mind. And I see these brown clumps. I'm like, what the hell is this? And they stink. Folks, it stinks like shit. And let me tell you why. That's because it was human feces. Not my own. Some other random guys. So I'm flipping out, man. I'm as pissed off as, I don't know. So being the adult that I am, I call my dad and I'm like, what do I do? I'm just flipping mad. I'm not thinking straight. My dad's like, all right, me and your mom, we're gonna come out and we're gonna solve the issue and all this stuff. Okay. Thank God I got awesome parents. Now the plumber had come that night, the emergency plumber, and had, quote unquote, keep this in mind, another air quotes, solved the plumbing issue, okay? They solved it because they're pros. And now, yesterday, my basement floods again, and I'm like, what the hell? Or not, was it yesterday? What is it? We're Saturday today? Friday? Yeah! So, until yesterday. So they sent in another plumber today. I had to wait a whole freaking day because they were supposed to come out on Friday, and then I got a phone call late in the day saying, yeah, we're not going to be able to make it, blah, blah, blah. It's that same arrogant son of a bitch who looked off my dad. I should have slapped him in the face, but I didn't. And so my dad, being the awesome guy that he is, he helped me like clean up and all that stuff. We went and, you know, anyways, that's not the point. Plumber came this morning and fixed the issue, said that the issue hadn't been fixed last time. So clearly that first plumber didn't know anything. Anyways, that was my rant. I know I wasn't really super mad. It irks me. I can't wrap my head around as to how somebody cannot finish a job that they've started. Anyways, that in mind, I hope you enjoyed the Uechi Cannon's first laydown of his bike. And just remember that I love you all. So keep on riding and enjoying your nice weather. And I will see you on the flip side. See you later, boys and girls.